you. I hope you are able to see me, and I am sure that this discussion, which is there on research methodology, will be very helpful to you, and this will enable you to move in the direction of doing the research in a proper manner. Let us understand what is a research. If you are doing doctoral level research, then it means you are creating a document based on scientific research, scientific tools of analysis for the purpose of adding knowledge, adding theory, adding new evidences, adding new facts. So basically a doctoral research is scientific investigation. It is primarily an activity comprising of uh, understanding the problem, redefining the problem, formulating hypotheses, checking hypotheses, and evaluating data, taking assessment of existing theories, finding out gaps in the existing theories, and then preparing a new theory and suggesting it for trying out to the new scholars. So research in business context is applying this research in solving relevant data using relevant data, information, and other tools. Objective of research is to gain better understanding of the phenomena, to develop new theory, to develop new understanding of relationship between some variables, to portray the characteristics of a particular individual situation group, or to determine the frequency with which something happens, or to test a hypothesis or relationship, and to give data-based view regarding that understanding. Various types of researches are there. A few are like descriptive versus analytical, or applied or fundamental, qualitative versus quantitative, conceptual versus empirical. Descriptive is when you look at the data, describe the situation. Analytical is when you try to undertake mathematical analysis, figure out that relationship. Applied versus fundamental means in fundamental you develop new theory which can be used everywhere. In applied we try to solve existing problem by using the existing theories of research. Conceptual versus empirical. Conceptual is more related to some abstract or development of a new theory, while empirical is more related to observation, data-based research. Research methodology. In research methodology, we define the complete method, how we will collect data, how will we describe the relationship between data, what will be the tools that we'll be using. So whenever we are doing research, we have to define our research methodology, our scope of research, our research objective, our research hypothesis well in advance, and get it approved from our supervisors. And this will help us in undertaking a proper research. So we have to define about our objective, we have to define our methodology, hypothesis, we have to define how we will collect data, how will we analyze the data, which statistical tools will be used, and what kind of research output will be there out of the research. So research methodology is a way of systematically evolving research the situation, research problems, and helping us in developing better understanding. The logic behind research is to explore and influence the field, give better understanding of the field, develop some study material which may help the government in taking intervention, which may help companies, which may help organizations. Especially in business research, our research should help business organization in solving their problem, right? So ultimately, through research, we wish to reduce the cost, improve business performances, and help business organizations in better understanding the market or customers. So in research, our goals are to help either decision support system, or to help business intelligence, or to help strategic decisions, or to help in tactical decisions, or to develop a new theory related to any of these issues, right? So what is the purpose of business research? To identify and develop business problems, to define redefine business strategies, to have a better understanding of a particular field and to help the management in these things. Hierarchy of information. There are different, in business we have different hierarchy: lower level, middle level, top level. Top level is more concerned about strategic decisions. Lower levels are related to routine decisions, and in research we can help any of them, lower, middle or top management, and accordingly we can design our research strategies. Generally, the business entities on which we conduct the research are like customer groups or service providers or media companies, wholesales, distributors, retailers, customers groups, or the other intermediaries, stakeholders, investors. So we conduct research on them. We can directly collect data from them, or we can take help of research organizations, and we can also undertake research to support uh, the advertising companies, public relations companies, sales promotion companies, direct marketing agencies, etc. Right? Who can conduct the research? It may be conducted by professors, it may be conducted by consultant, maybe by a business analyst, it may be by specialist researchers. So anyone can conduct the research. What are the steps of good research? Identify your purpose, define your research method, design your research, and clearly identify the research findings and present the report. And the report should help somewhere or other. Right? Adopt proper method. There are various types of methods for data collection, like direct observation. It can be based on direct observation or some other method to collect the data. Questionnaire, survey, to test the hypothesis. First, you formulate a hypothesis based on the existing research, and then check and test the hypothesis using your data. If the hypothesis is I mean, there are two possibilities. Either you approve the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. Either way, it is just checking the existing hypothesis so that you can either approve it or you can develop new hypothesis. Right? Research and scientific method. Generally, we describe all researches as scientific method because whatever we do is replicable, is generalizable, is having proper validity. We follow the scientific principles, and if we are doing, if another person does with similar method, there are possibilities similar finding would come. The research is basically following certain specific method, specific style, specific presentation. There are some variables which are studied in the research. The language of the research is like we generally identify some dependent variables, some independent variable. We try to find out the relations between them, and we identify the relationship between these variables using our research method. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is basically understanding of the phenomena. Like we say, if prices increase, demand will fall. This is our hypothesis based on previous researches, based on previous observation, based on previous understanding. We can check this hypothesis by collecting data, empirical analysis, and either this hypothesis is proved or it is rejected. Right? So this is how we generally undertake research in quantitative research. In qualitative research, there is no need of hypothesis. Generally, qualitative researches are focused on exploratory research, where we explore the field first time. There is no prior research, and therefore we don't have any hypothesis. We undertake the research, and based on the research, we develop some hypothesis. So hypothesis can be various types, like descriptive hypothesis, relation hypothesis, correlation hypothesis, causal hypothesis. Causal hypothesis is like cause-effect relationship, that kind of hypothesis, right? Hypothesis or propositions are guidelines about what is the relationship between two variables. It identifies the relationship. It may be about causal relationship. It may be about some understanding kind of thing. A strong hypothesis has adequate, testable, and it has a better understanding. Proposition and hypothesis. Proposition and hypothesis are giving specific research models, theories, and they help us in understanding the phenomena. And in this way, we are able to understand a situation better. Being good researcher, we have to prepare a synopsis in advance, which should give the existing theories and try to develop new theories based on our research. It is possible that we may develop a new theory, or it is possible that we approve the existing hypothesis and identify that it is having a better uh, applicability in the given research context. There are three important issues relating to research proposition. Before we start the research, we have to give complete roadmap of our research to our supervisors who will approve it. This is presented in the form of a research synopsis, and the synopsis is approved by a committee who look into the quality of your inputs in terms of research methodology, research timeline, research direction, sample size, in terms of proposed action plan, in terms of proposed tools for hypothesis analysis, and in terms of significance of the research, whether the contribution of the research will be so significant that this kind of research is warranted. So these things are studied in synopsis, and based on these synopses are approved, and then the researchers start doing the research. This is just a basic discussion. I hope we can have more discussion on these aspects later on. Fundamentally, research objective should be very well clearly defined. Based on the objective, formulate your hypothesis, 2-3 hypotheses to meet 2-3 objective, and then there should be proper methodology to check those hypotheses, and those hypotheses should be tested out using your statistical data. Using quantitative research, the sample size should be large enough, and the research framework should be well defined. A level of errors, level of significance should be well defined. Proper tools of data collection, data analysis, there should be proper validity checking, proper reliability checking, generalizability should be there, and then based on that we can end up the research with some theory, or by supporting the existing proposition or hypothesis. So this is a broad understanding. Develop good synopsis, have proper referencing, at least cover up at least 50 research papers in your literature review, identify research gaps based on the literature review. From that, develop your research objective, research hypothesis, research plan, and how you will undertake the research. So all this should be based on literature.